Today, I'm going for our first run in the Adidas Ultraboost 20. .29 miles, 8 minutes, 20 seconds per mile, 141 beats per minute today, going for my low heart rate run here in the new normal of Chicago and enjoying my time along the lakefront. It was beautiful out there. There was a lot of runners out there, more than I've ever seen, I think, on a weekday run. Now, I was out there a little bit later than I normally am just because my schedule's a little bit changed. But I'm thinking now in Chicago with all the gyms closing, people are heading out to go outside and run. And so that's good to see, but it's also a little bit of a kind of disconcerting sign for a little bit. In either event, though, I got my run in socially distant from everybody. I normally just run by myself. I did that today as well, and getting in my miles in the Ultraboost 20. This was quite a surprise of a shoe, but before I get into that, I do want to go over some disclosures. This is a pair of shoes that was given to me by Roadrunner Sports for the purpose of review, so I didn't have to pay for this pair of shoes, but no one's paying me to make the video or to wear the shoe at all, and no one's going to get a chance to preview any of my thoughts or footage before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. Now, with the disclosures out of the way, let's talk about the Ultraboost 20. Now, this is a shoe that I really wasn't all that excited about. I think it looks fantastic, but it just seemed so much identical to the Ultraboost 19. I really felt like it was just kind of a revamp of the upper, and that's it. And it was basically the same midsole that I really wasn't all that excited about in the Ultraboost 19. But with some changes to my training schedule, with the races canceled or postponed, I'm moving right to off season. And so now I need more like daily trainers, longer mileage shoes. And I thought, you know what, this is a good time to take a look at this Ultraboost 20. This shoe actually ends up being really good. It's probably the most runnable Ultraboost shoe that I've ever experienced. Not that I've experienced tons of them. I think this is my third Ultraboost shoe that I've run, and maybe even my fourth. But I ended up actually really enjoying this. So what do we got going on here? Let's talk about the midsole first, because I think that's kind of like the biggest thing that I need to kind of address. So the midsole looks a lot like the old Ultraboost 19 midsole, and even like holding them side to side, they kind of look almost the same. But there are some subtle but very important differences. There's less boost in this Ultraboost, which I think is a good thing. In the Ultraboost 19, I felt like there was just too much boost in like the heel area and not enough in the forefoot. So what they did was in the Ultraboost 20, they shaved off 7 millimeters of boost from the midsole. And I'm not sure if they did it kind of just like straight off the bottom, but the heel stack height went from 29 millimeters to 22, so a reduction of 7 millimeters in the heel, and then from 19 to 12 millimeters in the forefoot. So again, another 7 millimeters. It's still a 10 millimeter heel drop shoe. It lost overall only 0.1 of an ounce, but I think it's because it added a lot of weight in the upper. But the running dynamics seem to change quite a bit, even though the heel drop remains at 10 millimeters, which again is more proof for me that the heel drop number is like a relatively poor prognosticator of what a shoe is going to feel like to run in. But what it felt like to run in this shoe was that it finally felt like there was the right amount of boost for a running shoe in this Ultraboost. Now, I still wish that there was a little bit more boost in the midsole, which is something that I wanted in the Ultraboost 19, but I felt like there was a right amount for an Ultraboost of boost in the heel in this shoe, and it felt like just like one good shoe that I could just actually run in. In the upper, we've also seen some changes as well. The changes are, I think, all designed to make this, again, a more runnable shoe rather than necessarily a fashion shoe or a casual shoe. And so we're still seeing prime knit, which is nice and comfortable up in the forefoot and like the booty construction in terms of there's no tongue really. It's just all part of one prime knit upper. And there's lots of extra stitching all the way around the toe cap, which reminds me very much of the Ultraboost. And then as we come to the midfoot cage, we've got something that's a little bit more substantial, something that we saw very similar in the Ultraboost 19. And then as we come back to the heel, we've got a lot of padding back here, which is something that I've never asked for or needed in an Ultraboost shoe, but this is something that we're getting here. I suspect though, this is all the stuff that's going on back here isn't just about padding. I think it's also about a little bit more lockdown in the heel. I just feel like this plastic piece, this heel cup area, is a little bit more substantial than what we saw in the Ultraboost 19. And it's all very soft to the touch, almost like a lot of padded neoprene back here. In all, the upper looks like it was sliced right off of the Ultraboost 19, which is a shoe that I generally liked. And they put it on this Ultraboost midsole, which ends up being like a weird Franken shoe that kind of works somehow. It feels really nice, and it just feels like kind of like a Ultraboost Plus or a Ultraboost GT. I know that's a phrase that I've used on some other shoes before, but like a Grand Touring edition of that. So a little bit more relaxed, a little bit longer miles, a little bit just cruise control type of speed is what this shoe seems to be wanting to do. Now I'll put some more miles into it and see how it does at faster speeds, if you're changing up speeds, doing different types of workouts, how it fares there. But for today's workout, where I was kind of just getting out there for a run, set it and forget it type of pace and effort, this was actually a pleasure to run in, and I totally wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to be a little bit annoyed by it, maybe even a little bit bored by it. But by the end of the run, I was thinking, I think they finally made this a real running shoe. Now, I've been fighting all you guys in the comments for the past several years about whether the Ultraboost is or isn't a running shoe. I've always thought that it is a running shoe, but with this being the most runnable Ultraboost ever, is it still an Ultraboost? And I'm not really sure about that. It has so many similarities now to the Ultraboost, and I don't know if that's just kind of like a convergent evolution or just like a giving up by the Adidas designers and engineers trying to figure out how to make an Ultraboost runnable. Maybe they're like, the Ultraboost, hey, that's a shoe that people like to run in. No one makes fun of that shoe for not really being a running shoe. So let's make the Ultraboost look like that. Or is it that as you tweak it more and more to make it less like a casual shoe and more like a running shoe, you're ending up with the same formula that the Ultraboost has? I'm not sure. What I can say is that I don't really feel like this is a max cushion shoe anymore. At best, it's in that kind of new category of max cushion shoe. That's a max cushion shoe daily trainer, or a daily trainer that has a little bit more cushion in it, and not necessarily supposed to use as a max cushion shoe. It has the weight of a max cushion shoe at 10.9 ounces, almost 11 ounces, for its listed weight, but I don't really get the sense that this is a shoe that's really designed for those really long runs or for those recovery runs where you really need some extra plushness, a little bit of extra forgiveness on your joints and on your muscles. I'm not getting the sense of that. I'm getting the sense that more that this wants to be a daily trainer. Probably going to be a better fit of a daily trainer for those of you who are taller than I am or bigger than I am, who look at the normal daily trainers and just think there's not enough midsole in there to absorb all the impact to my joints. Then I think that this is going to be a really good fit for you guys as a daily trainer, but not necessarily as a max cushion shoe. So ultimately, I think that this is a pretty exciting shoe because I really am going to enjoy putting lots of regular, easy-paced miles on it and medium-paced miles on it. But I also think it's a shoe in identity crisis at this point. It doesn't look like an Ultraboost anymore in terms of the design up top. It looks like a Ultraboost. And it doesn't feel like an Ultraboost anymore. But yet, this is the Ultraboost 20. So we'll see what I think about it over the rest of the miles and the time that I have with it. If you have any questions about the Ultraboost 20 or comparing it to the Ultraboost 19, feel free to leave them down in the comments down below. I'd love to talk to you guys about it more down there. Before I go, I do want to talk to you guys about the charity runner for this week. This week it's Dominic Emery, who's going to be running the London Marathon, which has been moved from its normal time in April to October now, which is just a weird thing to think about. But he's going to be raising money for the Essex disabled children. I was happy to donate 70 pounds of my money to his fundraising efforts, and so many of you have joined in as well, and I wanted to take a second to recognize you guys too. So far, since he's been the charity runner of this week that I listed on Sunday, we've had an anonymous donation of 10 pounds under the Kofuzi Run Club. Pivo, good to see you again in the donations, saying good luck on your race with 50 pounds. That's amazing. Tal saying good luck to Dominic with 10 pounds. Coz with good luck, Dom, and 15 pounds. Kofuzi Run Club donating 71 pounds again, always coming in one more than me. That's just amazing to see that. I love to see that donation every week. Alpi coming in with a Team Kofuzi message, 10 pounds. And Michael Mansfield with 10 pounds. Good to see you again, Michael and Alpi. And Stephen DeGalen, another regular in the donations, 10 pounds. And Michael Sessler for the Kofuzi Charity Fun Club with 15 pounds this week. He's stepping up this week. I think that's amazing to see. And already I feel like we've had a really big impact, not only on Dominic's page, but in the running community. I think that the news is spreading that this is something that we're all doing together. I think now more than ever, it shows how important it is for us, no matter how far apart we may be, to have something that we can rally behind and get behind and show the world the good that we can do when we run together as a pack. So thank you guys so much. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?